This is the man who admits he was directly involved in her sale to a brothel. Sushma says he told her he was helping her to find a better job. Kolkata, one of the most densely populated cities in the world, where over 30% live in slums. Here in the red light district, there is an insatiable demand for Nepali women, considered exotic by Indian men. Sushma was lucky to have escaped. Kamal was not so lucky. She was trafficked from Nepal as a girl. Now in her 60s and still a prostitute, she is not afraid to speak out.
तो खानु पर्यो नि त्यही कसको बाउआमाले सम्पत्ति दिएर गएको छ यहाँ त्यो छोकरीहरुले कसले दिन्छ त्यो कमाइ गर्न के बाउआमाले दिन आउँछ यहाँ नेपाल बढाएर.
Back in Kathmandu, the man who sold Sushma has been charged with trafficking. He will spend 2 years awaiting trial on a charge that now excludes the possibility of bail. And under new legislation in Nepal, brought in by the 2007 Anti-Trafficking Act, traffickers now face much tougher sentences.
Recently, the government has published one act which is very strong against these traffickers. If the trafficker is convicted, he will be imprisoned for 20 years.
There is a big vicious circle, and I think about 20-25 people are involved in one trafficking, one girl to be trafficked. She knows only this man who lured her. So this is the man who gets the least money is being put into the jail. It's not the planner or the money lender who is in the jail. So that is why we tried with 2 women when they came to Nepal. They have big houses here, big businesses here. We tried to arrest them, you know. One we did arrest, but then political protections that she was let out and she went back to India. She was trafficking woman and she was running a brothel in India.
अब हामी 5-6 भाइ छोरा हो हैन अब खाना लाउनु भनेको कुरो बाउको एउटा अंशले अब 6 भाइ छोरामा त्यति पनि पुग्ने होइन त्यही दुखै गरेर खानी हो नि लुगा सुगा सिलाउने हैन.
Legal reform, such as the recent Trafficking Act, has been brought about by the efforts of campaigners such as Dr. Renu Rajbandari to improve the status of women in Nepali society. For the past 15 years, she has been helping rehabilitate victims of trafficking.
Discrimination is real fundamental cause for trafficking in this country. Because here, women are being kind of taken as a second-class citizen by the state, who doesn't have equal right as men have in this country. And within family also, women are being treated as an asset. Okay, she's my daughter, so then I decide what is good for her. You know, she is my wife, so I decide what is good for her.
Sushma, who hasn't seen her children for over a month, is finally on her way home after having made her statement to the court. Abandoned by her husband, who left her for another woman, Sushma couldn't make enough money in her village to support her 4 children. 80% of Nepalese live in villages. Most land is owned by a few influential high-caste families, with the poor trying to eke out a living as tenant farmers. Most rural Nepali households now depend on at least one member's earnings from employment in the city or abroad. During the last 5 years, Nepali migrant workers have sent home as much as $1.5 billion US. This totals 15% of Nepal's GDP.
त्यो घरमा चाहिँ अनि त्यो गर्नुभन्दा वर्ष धेरै नै अलिकति होस् न अलिकति बढी नै भनेर चाहिँ त्यो सोचेर अब बाहिर भनेको बाहिरै हो अब कमाउन सक्यो भने त्यो भन्दा डबल पनि जान्छ पैसा
अब घरमा काट्नु गाड्यो हैन अनि घरमा गएर के गर्ने अब आमालाई भन्ने हैन
Girls who had been trafficked, her family usually accepts, but society continues stigmatizing. You know, this girl had been in Mumbai or somewhere, so she's a bad woman. You know, she has been already exploited woman. So those kind of stigmatization comes there.
After a 12-hour journey, Sushma finally reaches her village. She meets her mother and her youngest child on the road to their house.
लातो भइगएछन् फेरि अलिअलि त बोल्थे हिँड हिँड ए यस्तै हो आन्टी हाम्रो गाउँ के गर्नु घरको बिजोग ओह रुख छ अब रुखले थिट्ला भन्ने डर छ
अनि खेतीपाती यहाँ कति छ त अनि के छ धान के छ कोदो
छैन केही छैन खण्डा भएर
अनि के खानी त
त्यही त छोरीलाई माया मारेर
पठाएको कमाउन पुर्याएको
ल्याउँछ रित्यायो
अब कलकत्ता बङ्गमा हाम्रो संस्था छ त्यहाँ लान थालेको रहेछ तिमीलाई धेरै पैसा कमाउन लान्छु जागिर लगाइन्छु भनेर धेरै छोराछोरी पनि धेरै छ आमाले दुःख पाएको छ धेरै पैसा हुन्छ भने म लिएर आउँछु भने बिचारा उसलाई थाहा छैन त उसको दोष छैन नि अनि लगेर अनि उहाँ कलकत्ता लगेको थियो उ चाहिँ भागेर आयो त्यस्तो नराम्रो काम गरेको छैन यसरी मायाले गर्दा भगवानले देखेर भागेर आयो त्यसलाई नराम्रो काम गर्न परेन
छोरी नाथे हामी बेसिया पनि हुँ सिजनको पनि हुँ बैमानी पनि हुँ सबैजना
पनि
छोरीले नगर्ने काम होइन गर्नुपर्छ छोराले मात्रै कमाइ गरेर हुँदैन छोरीले नै गर्नुपर्छ भनेर चाहिँ मैले खता थिएँ तर यस्तै नै भामरमा जाँदै जान्छ भने त अब मैले कता छेक्नु
अब जाँदा
You cannot say end of trafficking, you know, but I would like at least the magnitude of trafficking should go down, right? For this, government is doing something, but it is not enough. There should be job opportunities for women in the villages, literacy programs for women in the villages. For me, the main problem of trafficking is gender equality.
The challenge is in moving from legislation to practice, in having an effect in the lives of people on the ground, so that women know that a life as a second-class citizen is not the way it's supposed to be, and that they have opportunities to change that.
We have realized that changing value system is not that easy thing. Those values that are already that we have were the result of the hundreds of years. And so within a few years, or maybe 1 decade or 2 decades, is not that long to change the mindset of the people, to change the value system, and we are optimistic, actually.
एकदम रमाइलो लाग्छ आफ्नो घर आइपुग्यो
बच्चाहरुलाई त पाल्नु पर्यो कसरी गर्छ
अब कसरी गर्ने अब जस्तो चाहिँ यहाँ त्यस्तै हो हैन अब सकेसम्म भनिगे
6 months on, Sushma remains in the village with her children. Her traffickers are still in jail awaiting trial.